Hi. Um, Today we are here to have some conversation around population and how it relates to sustainable development. My name is David, and I'm glad to be here to moderate this session that will have Olasoji to my right and Sekina to my left. They will be the resource persons for this conversations around population and development. It's nice to have you guys on this
Thank you, David.
around this conversation.
Thank
So
you.
we'll be talking about population and development, right? Um, so the World Population Day is an annual event by the UN. It's to commemorate issues around or progress, at least, that the world is making around reproductive health, as well as gender equality. Uh, Progress has been made. I mean, there are some remarkable progress that have been made in countries around the world. Africa is also beginning to record some progress. However, we're still having a lot of issues around our maternal health and reproductive health, with many issues still being clouded. I think I saw somewhere that, for example, in Nigeria, it's still 60% penetration in terms of acceptance of maternal care, maternal reproductive health services. That means that over 40% or around 40% of families or women do not still have access to or accept reproductive health services. And this has far-telling consequences on us as a country, or even on our people as a continent. And that's what this conversation here today is about. So one of the first talking points is around our understanding, first of all, of sustainable development. So what are the sustainable development goals? In your own words, I would like to start with Sakina.
Okay, thank you, David. So I'll say sustainable development goals are I'll say milestones that the United Nations has come together with nations of the world. So they've looked at the problems that we're facing currently on a global perspective and try to come up with these goals to see how we can address these challenges and address these challenges and make the world a better place,
Right.
pretty much. So they started from the MDGs, and when they didn't meet that, they had to revamp it to the SDGs. So we have 17 sustainable development goals, and the target is to achieve them by the year 2030.
So
Yes.
thank you. Olasoji, so what are the sustainable development goals to you? Yeah.
Well, thank you, David, once again. Like Chika has rightly said, if you're thinking about sustainable development, well, in my own word, it is like taking cognizance of the future ahead of me. When I'm out of this world, how am I going to leave it behind for those coming? So that's what we're talking about sustainable development, which is now very key, considering the issue of climate, surrounding poverty, health, and co. Like you said that in 2015, the United Nations came up with 17 goals to replace the MDGs.
Sorry.
Or because there was some issues, there was some things that were not taken into consideration while trying to bring up the MDG. So now, and the whole world has come to know that we need to work together to ensure that by 2030, we have a fairer world for us to live in.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And indeed, I mean, that's it. So some people will say that it is more about creating a more, a prosperous world, for the world. And it tends to seem like the goals have some level of interest or focus on this, what's known as the global south. Well, where Africa basically is
Yeah.
concentrated. And that does a lot, again, in terms of population. Africa's population is still growing. We're a growing population, or as we are referred to, a young population. A lot of the countries in the West, or what you would refer to as advanced countries or developed countries, have what's called an aging population, right? But Africa, on the other hand, is the largely young group, largely young population. But that also has like some really far-telling rich consequences for us. On the one hand, you have issues of unemployment for the teen youth population. On the other hand, you also have people who can access healthcare services, across the continent. So, what are the opportunities and the burdens of this kind of growing, this bulge in the population growth of Africa? What would you call this? What do you think? There will definitely be opportunities in this, and then there are consequences or negative sides to the burden. So, what would you say they are?
Well, thank you. Like it's right put here, we're asking whether the current population is a burden on opportunity. Now, going by the forecast that at the moment, African population is around 1.2 billion, and by 2030, we will have almost 20 to 1.68 billion according to UNFPA. Fine, you can see it as a burden, but I think we should try to come up to see it as an opportunity.
Okay.
Whereby you're talking about youth unemployment, so we can harness these potentials to make sure that we make agriculture more interesting and attractive. Because when you have this kind of number of people, you need to make use of this of their potential, and I think we can use this in the area of agriculture. I think you are aware of the plan of the African Cultural Continental Future Agreement. Yeah, this is coming up, and I think very soon Nigeria will be a signature.
Yeah.
Because I think along the line we have not signed, but I see maybe in the next 1 month or two the government will see
I
that.
even think Buhari just recently signed it.
I'm not sure you have signed it.
I'm not sure, but I think he's now aware of
Aware.
the importance.
Interesting.
Yes, so
Interesting.
it foretells that the potential inherent in Africa, we should be able to embrace it, and it's see that we use it to our advantage. Everything has its own advantages and disadvantages, but since we already have the population, I think we should make use of it. So we should not be thinking about the body, we see it as a body, but how to, because I think half of African population is made of youth.
Yeah.
So how do we make them to more resourceful? We need to make sure that agriculture, at least that's one of the main things. Because now we say that people need way to reach now with agriculture by using ICT. So yeah, so those two sectors needs to be enhanced to ensure that our youth focus on it, so that by the time we're talking about development, we're talking about food security for all. Because without food, there's no way we can sustain the world.
And it kind of defeats, as one of the SDG goals is no poverty. And
Yeah.
if we have problems regarding agriculture, we cannot provide enough food
Food.
for the increasing population, then that becomes a problem.
And good too talking about food security. So can you see how
Interesting, yes.
Yeah.
So just pointed out that you're preferring agriculture now as one of the ways.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm pretty sure that not everyone can go into agriculture. Not every young person can go into agriculture. So probably taking that would also intervene.
I think for me, I would focus more on education, because education is really encompassing. And when you talk about the young generation, because if we have the average age of, we have a large percentage of youth population now, that means these people are going to grow up to want, they'll have to take up leadership roles, and if they are not properly educated in certain areas, I feel it's going to become a problem on a global scale. So I think we should need to focus more on education, and education is encompassing because it means, aside the fact that most children do not have access to primary education, we need to also, at the primary level, the tertiary, like the secondary and tertiary, we need to address each of this. And even those adults that feel, okay, we are too old, because we have a high level of illiteracy also. So you have most of these parents, mothers, another cause of, the increasing population can also be traced to illiteracy.
Right.
So if people are actually aware and understand the impact of just giving birth multiple times, and just if they understand the importance of family planning and the use of contraceptives, I think it would actually reduce that population growth. It would kind of control it. So at least we know that, okay, with the population we have now, we know how we can manage our resources so that everything will go around. So I think education is very important. Educating people on the importance of, population control or birth control and all that stuff. And also normal formal education. So yes.
Absolutely. Awesome. So, before we move on to the next question, I think we should just insert this. So, both of you work for really amazing organizations, and you're both doing great things on your job. it's obvious, especially in Africa, that the private sector is the biggest employer of labor. It's not the government or any other arm. It's the private sector. What, in your own estimation, would you call the role of the private sector? What would you say the role of private sector might be in addressing this, population growth, with this, in
The whole situation.
intervening in this
Yes,
situation? What do
yes.
you think? I know this is a bit not among the questions that was supposed to be asked, but inserting it, any of you can take a go at it if you'd like to. Yeah.
Okay, well, for me, I don't know how it's okay. I wouldn't. Most people blame the government for so many things,
Right.
and we know that the government is meant to be intentional about certain things in the country, and not just in Nigeria, but in Africa and global level. So yes, the government has a very critical role to play, but then it can't do it all alone. We need the private sector. So how much of the private sector we should be seeing? I think they should just give it their all, really, because in as much as the government is bringing theirs to the table, the private sector also have to bring theirs. So everybody will have to bring their best game in to try to address these issues. But yes, the private sector also has a critical role to play because we can't do everything to the government.
Sekina here has said that private sector really needs to collaborate with government. So in what areas would private sector collaborate to,
Well,
in some specific ways to
yeah,
address
like
this?
sorry to say, the role of private sector is really critical. That was why the MPGs failed.
Right.
No, because one, the MPGs were being conceptualized. They felt that government had the capacity to deliver. But that was one of the issues that UND looking to blame. But later they found that Universal on his own has been doing a lot of things. And you're aware that in 2014, Sarah was inducted into the private sector industry based on what Sarah has carried out in the of CSR, without any government affiliation or government support. So it shows, let you know, even the private sector knows on his own part that it needs to deliver, to be seen as a responsible organization. So the only thing now is that for us to achieve the SDGs, the government, everyone needs to collaborate. That's the key word. That's the new denomination, the new currency. That the government cannot do it alone.
Right.
Likewise, the president cannot. Neither the government can do it alone. But we need to come together to see where we can all leverage on our different what we call capacities and competencies. Whereby, okay, maybe we have 20 organizations in the Equity, maybe like Sarah's into power and energy. Then maybe there's something for manufacturing, there's one for energy or something. And instead of Sarah doing everything, maybe we just take parts of, like having a roadmap for every year. Okay, we have 7 sectors we want to deal with 2019. Maybe education, health, employment, gender issues, climate change. So we know that, okay, Sarah comes and says, I'm going to take the issue of social inclusion. So you know that every about inclusion is for Sahara.
Right.
Not about this. So by the time we're trying to look at how we perform at the end of the year, we're able to track all this against the indicators to ensure that, okay, gradually, so both needs to come together and synergize.
Absolutely. Awesome stuff. So we're kind of rounding off now. So the last question, we've already even started delving into the last question on this list, and that's what do we need to do to achieve the SDGs? And we're taking the private sector angle, but now I believe that this, the interventions, the role that has to be played for the achievement of the SDGs is not. It doesn't have to be a government thing or a private sector thing. I think that it trickles down to individuals as well. So I think let's address it from that angle, starting from the most basic. So what roles can you and I as individuals play to address the SDGs to see that it gets achieved? And then the roles of us as a collective, and then the role of private sector, which has been addressed, that of government, and generally. So what can we all do to achieve?
Okay, I think I'll start with awareness.
Right.
Because in as much as we hear about the SDGs a lot, I think a lot of people still are not aware of these goals. And I think being aware of the goals will make them understand how delicate the problem is and why the goals are very important for them to be achieved. So I think awareness is a very important thing. I think I was watching a video yesterday, and some young people didn't actually know what it is. They've never heard of the SDGs. So I think there's still a whole lot more to play about the awareness, because when you're aware, the first step to solving the problem is being aware of that problem. So I think awareness go a long way. in trying to solve this problem on an individual level. Even if it's, if you see a bad habit, curb it. If you see someone throwing out plastics from the car, just tell them. It won't hurt you to say, this is not right, try to do the right thing. So I think that awareness goes a long way. Then we can now talk about action towards, trying to be more intentional with your actions regarding the SDGs.
Okay. So you're taking it from the awareness angle also, right?
I think, to be honest, I agree with you because almost every day, I guess what to tell people's in the SDGs. When they say the lapel on my jacket was this one, and I get to wonder. So with all the noise, with all the so majority of people don't know nothing about SDGs. So what we need to create awareness. Government needs to do something like all the billboards you have around the states. Probably every hour of the day, there be something blinking on the billboards, showing that the SDGs. So by the time it becomes to everyone's face, okay, what are these? Then everyone has a role to play. Like you said, there may be people that throw plastics around. These are issues of climate change, which is goals, 13 of the goals. People need to know that my attitude is contributing to the issue of climate change.
Right.
So with that, we're able to reduce the consequences. We need to do some form of education as well. Let's instill it in the curricula of primary school and secondary schools. Let them begin to know that there was something called the SDGs that came out from the MDGs. So there's a bit of history, but you know about the MDGs and how we were able to achieve some kind of milestones from it, and then how it blossomed into the SDGs. Then what is being done by countries, and so do we need to now wait to 2045 to have another set of goals? So we need to start then from that awareness to education, then to action. That every day of our lives we should all be ambassadors of the MDG, of the SDGs, whereby let people know, let's walk the talk. And also, sorry to bring this back, when think about the issue of maternal health.
Right.
We need to take into consideration the issue of culture.
Yes, very
So
much.
people don't think that, why should I use pills or to use fertility stuff to reduce population? But that means shows that we need to also talk about education, like you said earlier.
Absolutely. This has been an awesome, a fantastic session. So I hear you, and I believe everyone listening to hears and gets the idea. The Sustainable Development Goals are here till 2030, and we all have collective roles, we all have individual roles and actions to play to achieve these goals by that year. We've talked about the role of the private sector in this, we've talked about the role of government, and we've also spoken about the role of us as individuals in achieving the goals. Thank you so much for this, for giving us your time and for contributing to this, and happy world population.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.